It's 10:30 and they're asking for the 11:30s to go on board, to carry your own passport, boarding pass, make sure you got your travel insurance, and a couple of other things, or an evidence of your rat test. Yeah. It's a little while before my board, so I'll go and have a look at the boat from the other end. Hi, Jules Cruise Companion. I sit here today with my cruise scarf with a pretty iconic background. And that iconic background is because I am heading today on Carnival Splendor on a 10-night to the Pacific Islands. There's going to be a couple of challenges for me today. My cruise buddy was unable to attend, so when I get to check-in, I have to actually tell them that they're unable to come. And so now I'm about to board, and I'm going to see what the process is when my person doesn't come, when my other person on my cruise booking doesn't come. An almost empty departure hall and fast moving lines made the whole process really quite easy.
Thank you. Have a lovely cruise. Excellent. Kim and Jeffrey. Photos of you. Master on level 4, restaurant level 9. Ready to go. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
My cruise buddy can't make it, but I've told them at check-in.
Okay, because I've only got you now in that stateroom,
Fabulous.
so I think they've already done it for
Magic.
you. All right, you have
After being misdirected to my muster station, I have found my correct one.
Giving credit where credit is due. Today Carnival had their act together and I got on the ship really, really promptly. I had done my rat test and taken a photo of that with an old phone with yesterday's date on it and my government issued ID. I had out already printed my boarding pass, my international COVID certificate and my travel insurance, of which they check. So on social media, please, please, please stop posting, do you need travel insurance and do you need an international COVID vaccination? Yes, you do. Until there are changes in the COVID requirements, of which you will be notified by social media and general media, no, you still need to be vaccinated. There is only a small proportion of people that can travel unvaccinated, and they are on the product disclosure statements on all of the cruise companies. Children under the age of 12, those with exemptions, please, please, please stop posting about can you cruise without being vaccinated or when vaccinations are going to end. You'll be notified. Until then, save your money. And then when it's anybody can cruise, you'll have the money saved up. One of the things that was going to be different about this cruise is I wanted to book as a solo, but I couldn't book as a solo because when it got through to the solo booking and paying segment, it said that there were no cabins available. So I had to book for a second person as a solo with no additional port fees and taxes. It was going to be about $700. So I had to go right back to the beginning of the booking process and I had to book for 2 people. I rang my buddy and I said, this is my situation, can I use your details? And she said yes. So I went through the whole booking process with 2 people. It cost me an additional $300. So this cruise is going to cost me, the actual cruise component, $1,020 for 10 nights to the Pacific Islands. So I was a bit concerned about how the cruise company was going to respond when I appeared and my cruise buddy didn't. I had primed my cruise buddy to say they could call you because that is what happened on a previous cruise when my cruise buddy couldn't make it. Disney Cruise Line called up my buddy and confirmed that they weren't actually making it to that port, that they were going to try and make it to the next port. So I primed my cruise buddy that potentially this company would be contacting them, and they didn't. By the time that I'd gone to check-in and I told Michelle, the woman at check-in, and she gave me a stamp and I gave her the information. By the time I got to Jake, who was scanning me on the boat, the cabin had been updated and it was just me in the cabin. So, do you have to pay for 2 people? Unfortunately, yes, you do, because of the whole booking process or the whole business model is based on two people sharing a room. It's very rare at the moment that you're getting a decent solo supplement, but always try. If not, just save that additional money and book as two people and then say that the person hasn't arrived. This has happened to me about 3 times. I'd booked a few cruises in the Mediterranean pre-pandemic, and then someone didn't turn up for one of the cruises out of Rome or somewhere. So once again, I just said I was cruising by myself and it wasn't an issue. And so this is basically why I am sailing solo on this cruise, which should have cost me about $700. But as I say, by the time I got to that booking process, it says I couldn't because they wanted the extra money, they being the cruise company. And so I booked for 2 people using somebody else's booking details with their consent, knowing full well that they were not going to be coming on the cruise with me. And it was not an issue. If you don't like that kind of anxiety, that isn't for you. Don't do it. But because I can ride with that kind of anxiety, this is what I chose to do as paying for 2 people. And I have also got some other, because I had to come to Sydney and not cruise out of Brisbane, which is my home port. But I'll go through another vlog about how much this whole cruise cost me for 10 days cruise to the Pacific Islands on Carnival Splendor. Head around here and then we can see a whale tail of Carnival Splendor. She's not my favourite boat, but I'll go through that. And you can look at old vlogs about why she's not my favourite boat, but I just had a couple of weeks spare, so I thought I would hop onto any cruise ship and go for a sail to the Pacific Islands. This is Jules Cruise Companion saying stay safe everybody and happy travels.